is there ever a case where you have people with like high metabolism that always have that have some of these issues too? Because for like me, like my metabolism is high. So me and Dr. Nell went to school together. My junior year in high school, my parents had me tested for tapeworm because like
Oh
I
wow.
just feel like hungry all the time, and I know like, but I know for myself like, all right, I need to stop eating because I ate enough. But at the same time, I still feel hungry. My mom would actually make a meal and then like make me like a pot of grits or something like that on the side, so I at least feel something. And then even in my adult life, I still have that trigger every now and then, where sometimes I actually realize that like maybe if I eat too late, that'll actually trigger my metabolism to react differently. And so the next morning, like I might wake up in like 4 or 5 in the morning just hungry, like I didn't eat the previous day, right? And then but I knew I ate, and it just you just have that feeling, and that triggers that whole thing for like the next day or two, where I just even if I eat, I still feel like I never ate to begin with, even right that I just ate, and it just doesn't change. So I actually stopped eating because I know that hey, I ate enough, so let me cut this off because I know what that limit is, but I know there might be other people that really don't, I guess make that relationship or know themselves well enough to make that correlation to cut that off and might have issues going down the road from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, because it gets very complicated when we start getting into metabolism and the diet versus the mood because what comes first. But typically, people with high metabolism, regardless of what they eat, typically don't have issues with severe obesity because severe obesity can cause all the same issues as just a bad diet.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
um, because it's also the choices. So our Western diet has been statistically shown, to be with more refined and processed foods and sugars, have higher depression and anxiety, decreased brain function compared to maybe a more Mediterranean diet, which is more based on lean fish, vegetable legumes,
Mhm.
omega 3s, and oils and such. So you can have a high metabolism, but if your diet is trash, you may have a similar issue. So you could be obese and maybe not even eat as bad, but like I said, what comes first is because your sleep apnea, have you sleep deprived? It's been shown that
Mhm.
sleep deprivation leads to depression. You're depressed, so you eat, or you're tired and you sit at a desk. So now I eat chips and cream with a little bit of coffee and to stay awake. So I keep gaining weight. Like, where does it's so difficult to stop the hamster wheel to figure out what is the issue when all the issues are feeding on each other.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, to that point, to continue that point, at the beginning, I think we talked a little bit about the bacteria that's in our stomach and how that bacteria impacts our nervous system, and subsequently that's what also has a role in our mental health. So it's less about the metabolism but more about what you're bringing into your body that has an impact on your mental health. So even though you're burning the food really fast, if the food is not nutritionist and the food is not adding value to your body, then it's likely going to cause some issues with your mental health. The
Right.
other thing is that if you're not eating with good nutrition, then you also stay hungry. That's separate than the people who are having a high metabolism. But if you're eating empty food, like the food
Yeah,
is there, the calories are there, but there's no nutrition there, your body is still going to be hungry because your body is not asking for food per se, it's asking for the nutrition. And correct me, Dr. Carlene, if that's incorrect. But
no, that is 100% true. You can be overweight and be malnourished.
exactly, because so when we, and this again is probably a Western thought, but when we get hungry, we think that our body is asking for food when our body is really asking for nutrition that comes in the form of food. It could also come
Exactly.
in the form of vitamins, it could come in the form of water, it could come in the form of different things, but we think, oh, I'm hungry, so I should go get this pizza, as opposed to, oh, what is it that my body needs right now? And if I'm tired, what has a lot of B vitamins in it that I can eat right now, as opposed to turning to the coffee. I hope we don't get in trouble with that. I don't know who sponsors you, Carl, but sometimes we turn into these chemicals, which is not really what our body is asking us for at the time. And we don't know the difference because, again, we're not learning the difference because, again, our school systems need to be teaching more about nutrition and health as opposed to just the academics pieces, right? Because nutrition and health and interpersonal skills, all of those things are things we need beyond the 12th grade, things we need beyond college, beyond our graduate schools and our professional schools. We need those things to live healthy lives and create the experiences that we were put here to have.
You mean that pyramid that they show us in school isn't enough? Or whatever it is these days?
No, it's not enough. That's not enough. Nobody is paying attention to that daggone pyramid. That pyramid is not enough. You need to teach them how to read the pyramid and how to actually use it in their life. And when their body is thirsty, how to understand the difference between thirst and hunger. Because everybody out here eating this food and not drinking no water. Jeez.
Nope.
I'll say.
They wake up drinking
I'm
soda.
sorry. I'm again.
They wake up drinking soda and Mountain Dew.
It's horrible. Horrible.
But I know.
Then we have this soda and the Mountain Dew. And after a while, those things are just full of sugar. They're not full of B vitamins. And so we're going to crash. And then when we crash, we're irritable. We're utilizing wrong interpersonal skills. We're trying to eat something at this point. We're doing all these things. And really, it could have been resolved if we had water first thing in the morning as opposed to going to soda or even orange juice. People drink orange juice first thing in the morning, and it is not good for our bodies. We drink it because of the vitamin C effects and things like that. But it's not good in terms of like the sugar and then how it ultimately will affect your energy levels and your psychological functioning for the rest of the day.
Yep.
Right.
You'd be better at taking like vitamin C supplementation over drinking orange juice. You know, a small serving of orange juice has over 25 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you get more, sugar or the vitamin C? The sugar. The sugar outweighs the benefits of that little bit of vitamin C that you got in that orange juice.
Yeah. And what's funny about that is that my son has energy deficient migraines. So he has a really high metabolism like Carl. Carl didn't mention that he was an athlete in high school too. So that's also why he was eating up all the food. But my son has energy deficient migraines, and one of the things his neurologist said was that we need to give him orange juice. So give him water first thing in the morning and then give him orange juice because the orange juice has so much sugar in it that's going to set him up for that early morning part until we get his breakfast done, right? But he had to eat his breakfast afterwards too. But that goes to say that the doctors are like, they recognize that it's not even the healthiest thing to have, but it can prevent certain issues like these energy deficiency